All right. All right, everyone. Welcome to Vista Center's Tech It Out with Vista. My name is Ryan Lin, and I am the AT Department Manager. I'm thrilled that you have joined us for today's presentation from WeWALK. We are recording today's meeting. If you do not want to be recorded, you can turn your camera off or exit the Zoom meeting. In a couple of weeks, today's recording will be available on our website, vistacenter.org. It'll be under accessibility and then Tech It Out. It'll be under accessible technology and then Tech It Out. It will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so be sure to check it out. And while you're there, give us a thumbs up and a like, follow, and check out some of our past recordings. We hold these meetings monthly. They're typically on the first Friday of every month, unless otherwise specified. And as an attendee today, your name will be on the Tech It Out emailing list, and you will receive a meeting announcement a few weeks prior to each meeting. Other announcements, so over the past couple of months, including today, our schedule has been a little wonky in regards to when we have these meetings, but typically, and this will start next month, Tech It Out will resume every first Friday of the month. And our next Tech It Out will be held February 6th, 2026 at 10 a.m. And this will be virtual only. Again, next month, we're going to go back into our regular schedule, which will be the first Friday of every month, unless otherwise specified. And that will be starting at 10 a.m. On February 6th. For today's presentation, I'll go ahead and mute everyone before the presenter begins. But during the Q&A, if you would like to ask any questions, please raise your hand. It'll be your virtual hand. I will call on people in the order that hands have been raised. When I call on you, you will get a pop-up and you will need to unmute yourself. For those not familiar with Zoom meeting shortcuts, on a PC, it's Alt plus Y is to raise and lower your hand. Alt plus A is to mute and unmute your audio. Also, holding down the space bar temporarily will unmute, and then when you release the space bar, will mute you again. On a Mac, it's Option plus Y is to raise and lower your hand, and then Command plus Shift plus A is mute and unmute your audio. And lastly, for phones, *9 is to raise and lower your hand, and *6 is to toggle mute and unmute. Does anyone have any questions so far before we get into the presentation? Fantastic. So without further delay, I would like to introduce Kursat, who's the co-founder of WeWALK. Go ahead, Kursat.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for inviting us today. So briefly, I can introduce myself, and then after that, I will pass over to my dear colleague Joe, and then we can continue with WeWalk presentation. So my name is Kürşat. I am blind from birth and co-founder of WeWalk. I have retinitis pigmentosa, RP, and I studied in a primary school for blind children. It was a boarding school. That's why I left from my home while I was 7 years old. And then I attended inclusive high school education. And then I studied psychological counseling. Um, and for the last 6 years, we have been focusing on WeWalk technology, and we develop the patented Smart Cane technology. We have 3 offices: London, UK, Istanbul, Turkey, and New York, USA. I'm based out of New Jersey, and I commute between New York and New Jersey. And We were at the market with our previous generation, WeWalk version 1, and in 2025, we launched the WeWalk Smart Cane 2, the second generation. And today we will share more information about it and answer your questions. So, Joe, over to you.
Thanks, Kurshad. It's a pleasure to be joining everyone in this morning's Tech It Out
One.
session. My name is Joe Alfonso. I'm the growth manager for WeWALK. So I've been with the organization for a little over 3.5 years now. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, but I'm based out of our Istanbul, Turkey office. And what really brought me here, I always like to say, is WeWalk. I always had a background in the field of technology, and I always had a passion for helping others as well. So it was a perfect fit being able to combine my passion for technology with being able to develop technologies for the visually impaired community. But it's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I look forward to sharing more information with all of you about our products. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen. What we'll do is we'll just go over a short presentation. If you do have any questions, we'll make sure we leave time at the end for them as well. And I will make sure I describe what's being displayed on the screen as well, just to make everything as accessible as possible. So if you could bear with me for one moment while I go ahead and share my screen. So let me give you a little bit of a background in terms of our organization. Our mission here at WeWalk is to leverage cutting-edge tech and AI to create revolutionary mobility tools for society driven by lived experiences. So this slide just shows a woman holding the WeWalk Smart Cane on the left-hand side, and on the right hand it just explains our mission. And we really like to emphasize the lived experiences aspect, because even though I am sighted, multiple team members on WeWalk are visually impaired, including Kurshad, our product manager, as well as our chief innovation officer. In addition to that, we work with various organizations globally in order to help shape our products. So we keep our ears very close to the community to ensure that we are listening to feedback in order to make our products better. And this next slide just shows a pyramid that describes the WeWalk's key features. So at the very bottom of the pyramid, it says classic cane. And it says that because the WeWalk is ergonomically designed to be very similar to a traditional cane. It's very lightweight, it's weather resistant, and it allows you to be able to do ground detection all directly from the device itself. So if you just want to use it as your traditional cane, you can go ahead and do that, because again, it'll feel like your traditional white cane. However, if you want additional safety, the Smart Cane offers upper body obstacle detection and a built-in flashlight as well. And what's nice is you can use this standalone, so you don't need a smartphone in order to be able to use these two features. Essentially, what happens is when you're walking towards a tree branch, for example, and you're holding the Smart Cane will start beeping to inform you that there's an obstacle up ahead. So it'll go beep, 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 beep to let you know that there's an obstacle. So let me go ahead and turn mine on now. And the sound may not be coming through because I have noise canceling on, but maybe Kurshad, if you'd like to demonstrate that sound. I hear that you have yours on now.
So are you able to hear it now?
Nope, it's not coming through either. So it might be
Okay,
because
let me turn off my noise cancellation and you can continue, and then I will turn off.
So we're trying to demonstrate it, but because Zoom's noise canceling is doing its job, we'll demonstrate that for you momentarily. The other nice thing though is if you don't want that sound to play, you can actually turn off the beeping and change it over to haptic feedback. So instead of hearing the series of beeps when you approach a head level obstacle, you'll feel haptic feedback or a vibration on the cane's handle. And then you can go around the obstacle or use it to feel for that obstacle. There it is. That's the sound that you would hear when you're approaching a tree branch or any low-hanging obstacle, for example. Maybe you're walking outside and there's a car with its trunk open, and your traditional cane wouldn't be able to detect that open trunk. However, if you're holding your Smart Cane, you'll hear that beeping that you just heard to alert you that there's a head level obstacle up ahead. Now, anything below your head level, you still need those traditional cane skills to be able to detect ground level obstacles such as potholes, fire hydrants. What we're really trying to do is protect your head from getting hit with those upper body obstacles. And then the flashlight is a nice added feature as well. So with the press of a button, you'll be able to enable the flashlight that's built in directly into the cane handle. That's very useful if you want to walk around late at night. It's a nice safety feature. Or for example, if you're a low vision user and need to locate keys in darkly lit areas, you can use the flashlight feature for that. And I will say it is quite bright. When we demonstrated at various conferences that we attend, people are very happy in terms of how bright that flashlight actually is. So that's the safety features of it. If you want to use it for its navigation features, now this is the third level of the pyramid that's being displayed on the left-hand side on this slide. You can pair it up with your smartphone through Bluetooth, and it works for both iOS and Android devices. And once you're paired up, you'll be able to get things like turn-by-turn navigation to shops, restaurants, and popular landmarks. You'll have access to public transport data. So if you're someone that likes to take the bus or train, you'll be able to access that directly from your cane. Lastly, you'll have an exploration mode available to you to discover nearby places such as cafes, museums, and restaurants. So let's say, for example, maybe you're going on vacation in Italy, for example, and you just want to walk around. You can enable that feature and find any places around you, and you can even get turn-by-turn navigation in order to get there. And I will say the learning curve is quite low. It's a very user-intuitive program because again, we get input from various users in the community in order to make it as intuitive as possible for our users. And lastly, we have the AI assistant feature. So this AI assistant is built into the cane. You simply hold down a button on the cane, and then you can ask questions to your AI, such as closest cafe. When you ask that question, it'll pull up a list of the closest cafes that are around you, and then you can simply use the built-in buttons on the cane's handle to select which cafe you want to go to. So let's say, for example, maybe there's a Starbucks nearby. You can select that by hitting the circle button located on the cane's handle. Once you select that, you will get various route options in order to get there. So if you want to walk there, you can select that. If you want to take public transit there, you can select that as well. And then once you select your preferred route, it'll start the turn-by-turn navigation directions in order to get there. What sets our navigation apart from other navigation systems is it's fully accessible. So we've kept the visually impaired community in mind when we designed it from the ground up. For example, it has low vision maps built in. We have high contrast colors built into the application as well. And it's also fully compatible with screen readers. So if you use VoiceOver or TalkBack, you can use the application for it as well. We have clock directions built into it, which means if you, for example, need to take a right on Main Street, it'll say go 3 o'clock, Main Street, 20 feet. And then as you complete that turn, it'll go to the next set of directions. It might say head 12 o'clock on Cherry Street for 20 feet. So it's really guiding you every step of the way. And that just highlights the main features of the cane itself. So just to go through it one more time, if you want to use it as a traditional cane, you have that option. We always like to say as well, the Smart Cane is not a substitute for good cane technique. You should still have some of those foundational level skills in order to be able to use the cane. And I also want to mention that the bottom section, there's no technology built into it. The bottom section really is your traditional Abmutech graphite cane, and then it has a hook-on tip on there. So if you want to swap that out with a different hook-on tip, you can go ahead and do that as well. And what's nice is it's also foldable. So when you're not using it, maybe you're sitting down at a restaurant, you can just go ahead and fold it up. Once you're ready to go, you simply unfold it and it's good to go. So if you want to use it for the traditional cane mode, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to use it for its safety mode, you can use it for upper level obstacle detection as well as a flashlight. And then if you have your smartphone and you want to get more creative and go outside on your own, perhaps you're traveling on vacation somewhere and want to explore on your own, you have that navigation feature. And then lastly, that AI assistant feature. I gave an example for asking locations around you, but it's only limited by your imagination. So if you want to ask the AI assistant, tell me more about the Statue of Liberty, for example, or you can even say, tell me how to bake chocolate chip cookies. You can even do that all directly from your AI assistant because it's powered by Google's Gemini. Moving on to the next slide.
Joe,
Oh, yes.
maybe it would be helpful to make live demo, then everyone can hear how does it work. So right now I have my own cane with me, and then I can give quick demo to our audience. So first of all, I will describe the shape of WeWALK Smart Cane. So there is a inbuilt speaker at the top. Also, it has microphone, USB-C charging port, and also it has 4 buttons to navigate on its menu, and there are 2 buttons to make some adjustments. For example, you can set different ranges for obstacle detection. So right now I will demo how to use WeWALK cane. And first of all, as Joe mentioned, WeWALK provides different different abilities to its users. So if you want to use as a safety tool, you don't need to pair up with your smartphone. It's a standalone device, so you can get benefit from obstacle detection feature or flashlight feature. However, if you want to get benefit from smart features, including navigation or AI assistant, like an Apple Watch, you have to pair up with your smartphone. I have already demoed the obstacle detection. I believe you heard the beeping sound. So that's why I will continue by demoing WeWALK's menu. So, as I mentioned, there are 4 buttons to navigate on the menu: down arrow, select button, up arrow, and go back button. So, in order to activate the menu, I will press the select button.
My places.
Okay, my places, the first option. You can drop your pins, you can drop your landmarks for your favorite places, such as a bench at the park or a trash can near your home. So you can drop a landmark and then you can reach your saved locations under my places option. So I will press down arrow and we will move to other option.
Transport.
Yes, the second feature is public transit. So I can check nearest bus stops, metro stations, and even I can check approaching lines while I'm waiting at the bus stop. Because I'm blind, I can't read timetables, but I can check from my cane. So let me hit this select button.
All.
Yes, I want to hear all of them.
Main Street at Woodside Avenue NJ Transit, 320 feet.
So this is the nearest bus stop. However, I can check other bus stops by using arrow keys. So okay, I will select the first option and I will press the select button.
Transport lines.
Yes, I want to hear transport lines. I want to hear approaching lines. Okay.
Approaching lines. 704 Wayne Willowbrook via McBride Avenue, 27 minutes.
So, I can wait for this bus, and even when I get on the bus, I can pick the stop that I want to get off, and then my cane will alert me when we arrive the final destination. So let me go back to the main menu by pressing the go back button.
Main Street at Woodside
okay.
Avenue NJ Transit, 300 all.
Oh, okay.
Transport.
Okay, now I'm at the main menu, transports. Now I will press down arrow again.
Explore.
Okay, explore. I can check popular places around myself, such as restaurants, cafes, professional buildings. So let me find a restaurant to have a dinner.
All.
No, I don't want to hear all of them. So because it gives me some categories, subcategories. So either I can pick a subcategory or I can pick all options. So I want to pick the restaurants option.
Arts and entertainment.
No, this is not the subcategory that I'm looking for.
Food and cafes.
Yes, this is the thing. Then I will press select button.
IHOP, 3,275 feet.
Yes, so if I want to get there, I can start navigation by pressing the select button over my cane. So I don't need to hold my smartphone. And I am also blind, and we are aware of the problem. While we are going somewhere, as a blind person, I have to hold my smartphone and I have to switch between different applications, Google Maps or Move It, Yelp, so it's really distracting. So what we are providing, what we are offering with WeWalk, it's an all-in-one solution. You can put your smartphone into your pocket and then you can reach information from your WeWalk Smart Cane. Okay, so those are the features of WeWalk Smart Cane: My Places, public transit, and exploration. And also, as Joe mentioned, we have AI assistant. So far, I used WeWalk with control buttons, and now I will use it with my voice. So I will press and hold the AI assistant button and talk to my cane and then release it back. So let's try it. Take me to coffee shop.
I found 5 addresses. I will sort it based on distance, starting with the nearest location. Address 1, The Fine Grind, a coffee bar, 2,190 feet, Newark Pompton Turnpike, Little Falls Township, NJ, USA.
So this is the nearest coffee shop. However, it gave me list of coffee shops around me, 5 different addresses. So I can pick one of those addresses by using arrow keys and then start navigation to get there. Since it's integrated with AI, so you can ask any kind of question and get information from your WeWalk Smart Cane. Joe, over to you.
Thanks for the demo, Khurshad. And before anyone asks as well, I just wanted to mention a couple of things as well regarding battery life. You'll get about 24 to 48 hours of battery life on a single charge. So it's one of those things where you don't have to be constantly tethered to a power outlet. If you have a power bank with you and you need to charge it in a pinch, you can go ahead and do that as well. In addition, if you're going to be navigating outside and if you prefer to use a single piece headphone or bone conducting headset or even a wired headset, you would simply pair that up with your phone. Once it's paired up with your phone, then all of the WeWalk app's audio will just go directly to your headset rather than through the cane. So you do have that flexibility of being able to use a headset as well. I mentioned this earlier as well, but it is weather resistant also. So if it happens to be raining outside, snowing outside, you'll be able to go ahead and use it in those types of conditions as well. And I do see that Morgan has a question. She has her hand up as well. Morgan, would you like to ask your question?
Hi, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. So yeah, I actually had a few different questions. I'll do my best to make this as concise as possible, and I can go one by one. My first question is the maps. You mentioned that for the AI, this is basically using Google Gemini. For the maps feature, I was wondering if you could tell us if under the hood, is it using like Google Maps or another map service?
Thank you for asking. Yes, we are using Google Maps infrastructure, and on top of it, we are um, combining these Google Maps data with the sensors data from your cane, because WeWALK Smart Cane has inbuilt sensors such as gyroscope, accelerometer, compass, and then we are able to understand where are you heading to, and we combine those data with Google Maps infrastructure.
Okay, great. Thank you. My second question is, you'd mentioned that this is kind of two questions. Regarding the directions, you'd mentioned that the navigation uses the clock face. Can a user change that to do like more left and right directions? As I personally, I don't understand a clock face very well.
Okay, great. Also, I am like you, so I'm using left and right most of the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's why we know each person has their own preference. So you can change based on your preference by going to settings. So we offer either left or right, or clockwise direction, or cardinal directions. So whichever you prefer, definitely
Okay.
you can adjust.
Fantastic. And continuing on with that, does the directions also include cross streets? Because that's one of my biggest complaints, like with Google Maps, for example, by default. If I'm using Google Maps on my phone, it will tell me, oh, turn left here for my doctor's office, but it won't tell me, you know, uh, cross street, insert the name, and then turn left or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, so we are also not able to provide this data. Uh, so because as I shared, we are using Google Maps infrastructure.
Hmm.
However, we received this feedback, and we are working on it. Honestly, I cannot promise something right now, but
Right.
definitely it's in our backlog, and we are working on it.
Okay, fantastic. Now I just have two other questions. First, you'd mentioned the kind of design of the cane. I'm interested for the handle. Number one, what material is used for the handle? Is it the same like kind of golf club kind of texture? Is it wooden? Is it something else? My second question is for the button location. Is that on more of the flat part of the handle? And I'm asking as I'm sitting here as we're talking about it, I'm thinking for people with additional challenges, I have cerebral palsy. So it's not um, always easy or comfortable for me to move my um, fingers when using my cane. So, like, my pointer is usually always on that flat part.
No, that's an excellent question, Morgan. So when we designed the cane, we were tasked with trying to figure out what would work best in terms of being able to hold it comfortably. So we did decide to go with more of the golf club handle. So there's
Mhm.
a silicone type case on it as well, just for that added layer of protection. That way, if you accidentally drop it, that silicone case absorbs a majority of that fall to the ground, but it does feel more like a golf club. And then on the right side of the cane, there's a flat section. There's two buttons located there. One of them is to be able to adjust the obstacle detection sensor. So you could adjust it between that audio feedback or the vibrational feedback. And then if you short press that button, you can actually adjust the obstacle detection distance. And this is the distance that the sensor projects from that cane outwards. That way, if you are a faster walker, for example, you might need to adjust it at a higher setting, which is the highest setting is about 5.5 feet in front of you, so that you have more of an alert before you're approaching that obstacle. So there's another button right below that as well that allows you to be able to calibrate the WeWalk's inbuilt compass. We do release a number of updates as well, and sometimes you may just need to calibrate the compass using that button. And then on the top section of the cane, which is the more round part of the cane, I think you mentioned, Morgan, that you like to keep your index finger on the side, which is also how we recommend users hold the cane. So we like to say, hold the smart cane in a traditional cane grip position with your index finger on the flat side of the cane, which is what O&Ms typically advise. And then the other fingers would be on the round section of the cane. So on the top rounder section of the cane are those buttons that Kurshad described earlier. So you have those two directional arrow buttons, a circular button to select items, and then a square button to power the device on and off, as well as to go back menu options.
Okay, great. And then thank you so much. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I would also recommend, if there's any way you guys can do it, even with the silicone, is in the future, maybe consider something like making an addition, with a wooden handle. I know Ambitech is fantastic for customizations. The reason I mention this is myself, I find, as an individual with cerebral palsy, the wooden handle tends to have a little bit of a wider flat part than the traditional. I'm actually using a spare cane right now that is a traditional golf club type handle, and I hate it because it's it's so skinny, and I feel like it hurts my wrist more to control that. So that's something to just keep in mind as potential feedback to discuss with Ambitech. The last question I have for you, though, has to deal with what you mentioned, Joe, which is the connectivity for the headsets and items like that. You'd mentioned that you can pair it with a Bluetooth headset or bone conduction, things like that. But you also mentioned that you can pair it with a traditional wired headset. So the audio goes through the cane itself initially, right? But then I guess my question is, if you wanted to use a wired headset to hear the audio, like, wouldn't you have to connect it to the cane, not the phone?
No, the nice thing about it is you just plug it in directly with your phone and then it outputs the audio through your wired headset. So there's no audio jack or anything through the cane's handle. So as soon as you pair anything up or plug in a wired headset, it goes out through your headset rather than through the cane.
Is this because if you're using the cane in the navigation mode or any of those things, you have to have the WeWalk app open at all times on your phone?
No, what's nice is you can actually keep it in the lock position, and if you
Mhm.
have it in your pocket or in a purse or backpack, you can continue using and getting turn-by-turn navigation. We just wanted to be able to give users the flexibility of being able to use a headset, just because we know they might be using their smart cane in loud areas. For example, maybe they might be in the middle of New York City where there's a lot of external noise. We didn't
Mhm.
want to limit people with having to use our inbuilt speakers. This was actually one of the pieces of feedback that we got from the first generation of the cane. So it is one of those things where we again want to listen to feedback from the community and give them those options. And I think that's one great thing about the WeWalk app as well. There's a multitude of customization options built into it so that users can customize it according to their needs. So for example, you can even customize how often the navigational directions announce the next set of directions. You can customize your text sizes as well. So we really tried to keep the end user in mind for those customization options.
Okay, fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I would love to discuss features with you guys more, but I will not take up any more time. I will let somebody else ask a question.
Absolutely. Thanks for the questions, Morgan. And I can see that Angela has a question as well. She's got her hand up. Angela?
Hi. I actually own a WeWAK cane, but I have a question about you mentioned earlier that you could switch out the tip, and I'm just curious about how you would go about doing that because I haven't been able to figure it out.
Yeah, of course. So I'm guessing you own the second generation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bottom section is a hook on tip, so you would just pull on the bottom section and then you'll feel the elastic. And what you would do is if you have another hook on tip, you would just have to remove whatever tip came with yours. It'll most likely be a Pathfinder tip, and then you would just hook on your new tip on there. So that elastic, there's an elastic loop that connects the hook on tip to the elastic, and make sure you hold on to that elastic loop because you don't want it to shoot through because then you'll have a different problem at that point. When you pull that hook on tip, just make sure you hold on to that elastic loop and then remove whichever tip is on there and then attach the tip of your choice. And then at that point, once you feel that the hook on tip is attached to the elastic loop, at that point you can just let go and then it'll sit flush at the bottom.
So does it have to be compatible with that mechanism, or like can I attach, like, say, one of the roller tips or the marshmallow tip or such,
No, that's a great question. So we do recommend using the Pathfinder tip right now. And the only reason we say that right now is when we were testing various tips, it got really good feedback in terms of the overall obstacle detection performance. But if you want to be able to use the other tip, like a marshmallow tip, as long as it's the hook-on style, you can go ahead and use another tip. Just keep in mind that it may not absorb ground level feedback as much compared to the Pathfinder tip. So if you do switch it out, you might not get as accurate obstacle detection performance if you use something like a marshmallow tip. However, we are going to be releasing an update in the near future where we're trying to modify the algorithm of our technology so that it doesn't matter what type of hook-on tip that you use. If you decide to use a hook-on tip, high mileage tip from Ambitech, or any type of tip, you'll be able to use it and still maintain the same level of obstacle detection performance.
Because the other piece of feedback that I have is about the tip itself, though, the one that comes with it. Since it's totally round, you can't stand the cane up and lean it up against anything because it rolls and rolls down basically.
Yeah, yeah. I also use this Pathfinder tip, and also it has some downsides and upsides.
Yeah.
So the upside is it glides perfectly on the ground. So because it rolls in every direction, 360. However, also it has this downsides using Pathfinder. So it's not about the WeWALK itself. It's about using the tip. What kind of tip. So because even if you have just regular traditional white cane with Pathfinder tip, so then you will have the same experience. So
Right. So it has to be a Pathfinder tip either way.
yeah, if currently we provide with we sell WeWALK with the Pathfinder tip, and however, as Joe mentioned, if you want to change it, although we don't recommend it right now, but you can do it because it's compatible with any other tips which are compatible with Ambutech canes. So if there is any tip which is compatible with Ambutech canes, so you can simply change it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
You're very welcome. And one thing I wanted to add as well is it was a pretty difficult decision in terms of what type of tip we wanted to include with it. But when we spoke with Ambitech, the Pathfinder tip is one of their most loved tips that they get a lot of requests for. Plus, when we used to sell it with the marshmallow tip, some of our users had mentioned that it would sometimes get stuck in cracks, or it would be a little bit difficult to use constant contact with it. So as Kurshot mentioned, with this one, it glides very easily. It doesn't get stuck in cracks, and it was, again, highly recommended by the user community in terms of the tips and such. So that was
a smaller version of that ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for your question, Angela.
Okay, thanks.
So, Joe, can you see another?
Yes, it looks like Bob has a question as well. Bob? And Bob, I can see that you're unmuted, but I can't hear you, unfortunately. And we're still not able to hear you. Perhaps, Bob, if you want to try typing it in the chat window. But if there is no other questions right now, I just have a few more slides, and I'll make sure I also leave some time at the end. Please also feel free to type your questions into the chat window, and we'll make sure we answer them at the end. All right, so moving on to the next slide. This slide just says Global Partner Network, and it lists our various organizational partners. So we have a close partnership with the Royal National Institute for the Blind, Canadian National Institute for the Blind. We work very closely with other organizations on the other side of the world as well, including Vision Australia. And then in the US area, we have a close partnership with North Carolina Central University as well. So again, it's part of getting input from various organizations to ensure we're putting in the right features for all of you. This slide just shows the awards that we've won for our technology, and then there's a woman holding a Smart Cane 2 on the left-hand side, and the list of our awards. We won Times Best Invention, we won an Edison Gold Awards, and most recently we won the King's Award for Enterprise for Innovation in the UK, which is the most prestigious award that you can win in the UK. And the next slide just shows a photo of our CEO and our CIO. They were actually invited to Windsor Castle. And it also shows the king himself trying out the Smart Cane 2 and smiling. He was quite impressed with the technology, so much so that when he tried it, he called it the beeping cane. And because he has so much influence in the UK and headlines and tabloids everywhere in the UK, the next day it was referred to as the beeping cane rather than the Smart Cane. So whatever the king says, that's what it is. But we're very happy to just have that worldwide recognition. And this photo, these set of photos just shows some of the conferences that we've attended. So we are all over in the US. We attend conventions such as the CSUN conference. So if any of you are planning on being there in March, it's in Anaheim, California from March 9th through 13th. And then we'll also be at the ACB conference as well as the NFB conference. So please stop by, say hello. We'd love to be able to demonstrate it to you in person. And the next slide shows a couple more photos. I mentioned that we're worldwide, so if you happen to be traveling in other countries, we're also very much available in areas such as Australia. There's also a couple of photos here from some events we attended in Japan as well. But we try to meet as many people as we can because there's very high interest in these technologies worldwide, just because we like to say it's basically a Swiss Army knife of travel apps. Everything that you need is self-contained in your Smart Cane so that you don't need to go around and switch between different applications. Everything you need, again, is within the Smart Cane 2. But all of this sounds great on paper, but at the end of the day, it's really what the users have to say. And I just want to play a short video from one of our Smart Cane 2 users.
Close-up shot of the WeWALK Smart Cane 2 in use.
You know, as someone who uses a white cane, I know only too well that people can often want to keep away from you because they're trying to get out of your way as you walk towards them, and that can be a little bit isolating.
A man walks along the pavement using the WeWALK Smart Cane.
With the Smart Cane 2 from WeWalk, I'm able to walk down the street with confidence, with purpose, and keep on moving and feel confident through my day. That's really profound. That's what I love about it.
He continues walking with the WeWALK Smart Cane 2.
With obstacle avoidance actually built into the cane, it is just so useful to me. Being able to, you know, when I come up against, for example, discarded bikes, I'm able to easily identify it and walk around it, which for me is really important. When I receive technology as a reviewer, a lot of it ends up on the shelf. I don't use it. The WeWalk Smart Cane 2 was not one of those products. I think the potential here is endless, and what I do know is that the community will be involved at every step of the way, and I've already contributed a huge amount of great ideas that this team will listen to.
WeWalk logo.
Thank you, Joe, for this great presentation. So I believe 10 minutes left to end our webinar, but before that we can receive some questions. If you have, please feel free to raise your hand or send your questions on the chat panel. And also maybe while you are typing your questions, I can briefly mention that we constantly iterate, improve our technology, and release new software updates. and they're all free of charge. And then once you purchase a WeWalk Smart Cane, maybe 3 months later, 6 months later, um, you might have new features at your hands and then experience it.
Thanks, Kurshad. And it looks like Morgan has her hand up. Morgan?
Hello again. My apologies. My question actually had to do with the Pathfinder tip. I will admit I've heard about this tip and do not have experience with it. I do use a marshmallow tip, but I use kind of a mix of both constant contact and tapping. Tapping is rare, but I have had instances where it's needed. So I guess my question is, when using the Pathfinder tip, like how heavy is this tip? I mean, can you tap with it if you need to? Like, is it difficult to say get it up over a curb? How much weight does it bring to the cane?
So it's definitely heavier than marshmallow tip, but maybe twice. But it's not 10 times heavier than or so. It's not
Uh-huh.
a really bulky big wheel, at your cane. So
Mhm.
and you can maybe if there is any store near you, assistive technology store, since this tip is used by Amutech canes, so you can visit the store and check how heavy is it. But also there is another advantage to use it. So since it glides perfectly on the ground, so you don't need to lift up your cane. So then you can use it easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Morgan. And does anyone else have any additional questions?
I told you, Joe, it was a perfect presentation. That's
Okay.
why we are not receiving too much questions.
Well,
Yeah, but
start.
but if there is no any question, I will ask a question. So I think there is no question now.
Yeah,
So
let's see.
please, also, my question is, we would like to stay in touch with you all. So if you want to stay up to date and receive latest updates from WeWalk, please share your email address, maybe on the chat panel if you want, and then you can receive latest updates that we release and that we are planning to release, and you can learn more about WeWalk and its updates.
Yeah, so please type in them into the chat window if you like us to reach out to you to share the latest updates with you. As Kursha mentioned earlier, what I love working with WeWalk is being able to interact with the users and hear what it is that you feel is the perfect technology that suits your lifestyle. So if there's any changes that you want to make to either the hardware, the software, we're all ears. So we like to say the technology is built because of you. So if there's any software improvements, hardware improvements, I've already jotted down notes regarding the additional requests. We already have the cross streets in our roadmap as well, but we can certainly speak with our technical team about that as well, including the wooden handles as well. We can try to see what we might be able to do in the future for that as well. But it's suggestions like those that helps technology move forward. So please do let us know.
And also, even after this webinar, if you would like to reach us, so you can simply send an email, info@wewalk.io, info at wewalk, WEWALK.io, And also you can visit our website, www.wewalk.io, and you can either get more information by visiting our website, or you can place your order directly from our website, www.wewalk.io.
This is Morgan. I think I'm unmuted. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if my email was caught in the chat. I'm currently using TalkBack on Android, and it's being weird with the chat. So I don't know if it came through.
Yes, we did get your email as well. Thank you,
Great,
Morgan.
thank you.
We'll certainly email you afterwards with more details.
This is Bob.
Hi, Bob.
So could you clarify for me when you were talking about the tip and it providing obstacle detection? So the tip doesn't have anything to do with the smarts of the cane. The tip is we're using our own traditional cane skills, and so that's how we're getting the feedback on obstacle detection. Is that correct?
Correct. So you'll still need your traditional cane skills to be able to detect ground level obstacles like fire hydrants and potholes or drop-offs. The obstacle detection sensor is actually built into the cane's handle. So there's a circular area. Oh, I just activated it just now. But it's located on the cane's handle, and that should be facing outwards. And then you're going to hold your cane in a traditional cane grip position. And the angle will be about 30 or 40 degrees, so how you would normally hold your cane for the most part. And then it's detecting those head level obstacles like tree branches and stop signs. But you could also use it for detecting other things as well, depending on how you're holding your cane. For example, some users will sometimes use it to detect elevator doors. What they'll simply do is they'll hold their cane in a perfectly vertical position so that the obstacle detection sensor is facing an elevator door, for example. And when it's doing that, it's going to start beeping to let you know that the elevator door is closed because it sees an obstacle in the way. When the elevator door opens, it'll stop beeping because it lets you know that it's now okay to enter that elevator door. And a good way to test out the obstacle detection as well is just to go outside and then walk towards, for example, a low-hanging tree branch like a stop sign, for example, a tree branch or a stop sign, depending on whether or not it's low-hanging. And as you walk towards it, you'll feel either the haptic feedback if you have that on, or the audio to let you know that there's an obstacle up ahead. But anything below your head, you still need your traditional cane skills to be able to detect ground level obstacles because there's no technology built into the bottom section of the cane.
So the tip is just personal preference. It doesn't affect the detection capabilities of WeWalk's overhead detection.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then I have another question. In the navigation app, are you able to adjust the verbosity of information it gives you? As an example, it said, I know you're in New Jersey, but when it was describing the coffee shop, it said, the town, and then it said the state, and then it said USA. And it's like, can you turn off the state in USA? Because we know where we are.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Although we are not able to currently we don't have verbosity settings, but definitely it's annoying. So that's why we will fix it. So we will release software update and we will fix this. And we will not hear too much information because we already know where we are at now. So
you guys have a great product, and I've been enjoying watching the development over the years. So congratulations to you guys. It's a very nice product.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
And also it's pleasure to be here today. So I think we are almost at the end of our webinar. Maybe if there is one more question, we can receive it. We can answer it. If not, maybe we can end our webinar. So do we have any other question, Joe?
I don't see any other hands up, but again, if you do have any questions, we've put our contact information in the chat window as well as including a link to the website. Morgan, we will be in touch with you as well. And if you do have any additional questions or just need more information, please do reach out. We're happy to assist you in any way we can. But as Korshan mentioned, it's a pleasure to be able to join all of you on this Friday morning. And we do appreciate all the questions and being engaged during this presentation as well.
Thank you so much.
Kirshat and Joe, thank you so much for your time today. It's was an absolute pleasure, and I too, like Bob, have been so interested, and it's been wonderful to see the development of WeWalk and progress through the years.
Yeah, definitely. And also when we have any plan to visit San Francisco area, so we will let you know, guys.
Yes,
Who
please.
knows?
Yeah.
We can meet in person sometime.
Yes. Yeah. We do host days that we do host events that are called demo days where organizations come through. And I think Niraj and some of the development team might be in contact with you in regards to that.
Yeah.
And then for any of the attendees, if you would like me to help connect you with Chrisette and Joe, please reach out to me as well. You do have my information, and I can always pass along the information. Yeah, thank you all for being here today. And it was a pleasure. Thank you to WeWalk. And thank you for all the attendees. Also, again, this recording will be on YouTube and probably by next week. So if you would like to refer it to anyone, or I know that there were a handful of people that have registered for this today that were unable to make it. And so feel free to pass it along. All right, everyone, have a beautiful weekend, and we'll look forward to seeing you next month.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Bye.